Hello Libra, welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Libra is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Please hit the like button, leave a comment, consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. It is totally free, doesn't cost anything. If there's something you would like me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I might provide. And remember, Libra, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And we start with a Knight of Swords, right? Fire and air. This is a rush. This is very active energy. This is kind of saying, hey, there's a situation. You've got to be able to act and react kind of instantly. You know, you've got to be able to spring into action, as they say. Let's put this into some context. What is it that's going on? What is it that's kind of swooping in? Oh, Six of Cups. Well, that's very nice. A lot of good stuff, right? This is, I think, a very loving and tranquil energy, even with all of this kind of activity that's going on, right? We've got the air and fire, but then we've got this nice, cool water. And the water is very balanced. It's a Six of Cups, right? It has to do with the solar energy. It has to do with light and love and health and healing and expansion. Let's keep going here. We got a Nine of Wands. We've got the Magician. Interesting. Okay. And we've got the Queen of Swords. We have the Knight and the Queen of Swords. We have the Fire of Air and the Water of Air. So we're in the middle of all of this activity. All of this really, I mean, it's really pleasurable activity. I think there's a lot of people around you. I think there's a lot of things that you're involved with that really feel good, you know. Five of Pentacles, things are moving. There is a lot going on. So there is kind of this need to stay organized, to get the bird's eye view of the Queen of Swords, right? To get a nice overview of what's happening in your life so that you can continue to act and respond to things quickly and intelligently and maintain this really good feeling. This is like a peacefulness in your heart amidst all of this activity. You feel really good doing it, right? This is nice. And a Ten of Cups too, even better. The Seven of Cups. See, we got the Five of Pentacles, Seven of Cups in the position of the environment. Sometimes it doesn't feel that we're really making the progress. And sometimes we need a little contrast, right? We've got this Six of Cups. Sometimes we need a Seven in order for us to recognize the Six. And there's the Art Temperance card, right? And the Ten of Wands. Yeah, things are really expanding in your life. I feel we have nine, see, 9 and a 10 here. We've got the Ten of Cups. I feel like your potential for love and joy and beauty and happiness and pleasure and bliss is expanding, right? It is, there's the potential there is just off the charts. And it really is in proportion to how much effort you put into it. The more you give to this, the more you're going to get out of it, right? I feel like everything in your life is expanding. I feel like everything's getting busier, right? And with that comes this realization of this kind of bigger picture thing that we're talking about with the Queen of Swords here. Looking at life, not in the way where we want everything to be sweetness. We don't want to eat nothing but dessert, right? You know, we're going to get tired of the dessert eventually. We're going to get too full. We're going to want to leave the table. So I think that sometimes we appreciate the varied and diverse feeling tone of life, right? We don't want everything to be the same feeling. Even if it's a Six of Cups, the Six of Cups is like, this is the best day I've ever had. This is the happiest I've ever been. And if things stay this way, eventually this is going to lose its intensity, right? And so we we don't invite contrast into our life, but we appreciate it that it's there. Okay, some days are going to be easy, some days are going to be difficult, but really we're in the service of this expansiveness. We're going to the 10 of Cups, 10 of Wands, and beyond, right? This is just pushing everything more and more and more. I think whether it's a business thing, a personal life, your career, your creativity, your spirituality, your romantic life, whatever it is, everything is expanding. Everything is getting busier. More and more things are happening, right? It's springtime, at least in the northern hemisphere. We're getting into summer, right? And it's everything is just getting more and more busy, more and more active. There are more and more things to do. And I think you're having some of the best days of your life, right? And when we have a day in between those best days of our lives, right? Those days in between feel like a 5 of Pentacles. It feels like it's just I just have a lot of chores to do, a lot of errands to run. I'm not really feeling it today, but I'm going to go through and I'm going to do what I have to do today. Not every day can be the best day of our lives, right? But it's through this contrast. And it's kind of cool that we have the 5, 6, and 7. So we've got the 6. The 6 is that best day of our life that we really, we feel like we want this day to last forever, right? This is that love, that bliss. This is that feeling that, God, everything is just perfect today. I feel this is the best I've ever felt. I'm the happiest I've ever been. Some days we have a 5. Some days it's like, I'm not really feeling it. It's just a lot of work, right? And then other days, on the other side there, we get the 7, right? And the 7 is just like, this is a day where I'm not making progress. This is a day where I feel like I'm overwhelmed, where I feel like I don't like this. I hate this, right? And we realize that those are the fluctuations of life. That's the gentle waves of life, right? And I think what the work sometimes entails is us trying to stay in the 6, trying to be in harmony. This is us living in harmony with the process of change. Trying to always maintain that balance, that harmony, that underlying feeling of love and joy, progress, community, right? Connectedness. When sometimes we're leaning toward the 5, sometimes we're leaning toward the 7, and what we do is we try to get back to the middle, get back to the 6. Okay? The 6 is that peak experience, and sometimes you might start to dip backwards, sometimes you might start to dip forward into a 5 or a 7, but we try to maintain this perfect, ideal state. We can't though, right? We're teetering at the top of that roller coaster, and it's either going to roll backwards or it's going to roll forward. But for right now, we feel like we're just kind of balanced at the very top. Yeah. And, I think that we're realizing that we've got to enjoy these peak moments while they're here, but know that things are going to go back to a kind of just a busy hustle, the chores and errands of the 5 of Pentacles. And sometimes it's going to dip into this really just feeling like I've had enough, I'm exhausted, I don't want to do it anymore. Some days we're going to feel like this, and that's okay, right? But we've got to enjoy these peak moments while we've got them. Let's select the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is that factor infinite and unknown. It's going to go right here. Mr. Ed will go right on top. We're not going to look at that card until the very end, but it will tie everything together and it will give us the confirmation that we need. If at any point during this program you feel like you know what that card is, I want you to put your prediction in the comments, okay? Let's do it together as a group exercise. I think it'll be fun. Anyway, let's look around the room here. We see a couple of major arcana energy. We see the adaptability of the magician, right? We see the balance and the mixture and the art of life with the art or temperance card. And I think a lot of this is we're really putting things into perspective because we have, like I said, we've got the 10 of Cups, but we have the 10 of Wands. We have this really amazing life that you're building, right? Your life is expanding into so much pleasure, so much joy, so much fulfillment and achievement and satisfaction, but it takes a lot of effort. It's kind of like, the more money, more problems, right? And so with the Ten of Wands and the Ten of Cups, it's like this is a life that is giving you the absolute most satisfaction you've ever had. Your fortunes are expanding. Everything in your life is getting bigger and better and greater and more intense, but it's also taking a lot more energy to maintain that, right? And so the Ten of Wands there is saying, you got to put in the effort to sustain this kind of life. Okay? And that's just something we have to be aware of. As we level up our life, that new level requires a lot more of us, a lot more of our vitality, a lot more of our attention, a lot more of our organization, a lot more of our adaptability. We've got the Magician card in the recent past. For one, this is the life that you have willed, right? This is the life of I think, expansion and love and bliss and pleasure and satisfaction, achievement, the busyness, right? This is everything that you've set in motion, okay? Because you are the magician, right? And the magician is also aware, because you're kind of at the forefront of things. You're the leader of this thing, whatever it is, business, your life generally. And I think it's both like career and business and that sense of work. Maybe you're retired. This is just kind of what you do with your day. Your relationships, your family, your artistic creations, your spiritual endeavors, all of these things. Your entire life, every aspect of your life. Okay? You are the leader. You are the performer of that life. You're the one on stage doing it. And I think this card is really about appreciating and understanding everything that's gone into this. We think of a magician on stage. They don't just show up 5 minutes to show time. They put on their hat and their cape and they're just out there doing tricks, stunning the crowd and everything. No, there is a lot of planning that goes into this. There is a lot of energy, a lot of people behind the scenes that are helping to create this performance. So this card really is about us appreciating what we do and how we do it and the life that we're experiencing, and we're the interface with the audience, right? We are the audience and the magician, and we are that life, that interface. But this is us appreciating everything that's ever gone into creating the life that we have. Every decision we've ever made, right? Every problem that we've ever encountered, but also all of the other people in our lives. Everything our teachers used to say to us, or our parents, or our friends, or strangers, or every good or bad or neutral thing that's ever happened to us is all still behind the scenes, right? As the machinery of this interface that we have. Okay, I think this card's also saying that we've learned a new skill or something. We've leveled up somewhere. I feel like there's something that you've either like graduated, you got a degree or a certificate or some kind of education thing, or I feel like there's something that you did recently that put you on a higher level. Now, I don't think it was like a promotion. Maybe it was a promotion or something, but I feel like you achieved something. Right? And I feel like you had to really apply yourself and learn and adapt and grow and push yourself into something and now you've got that peak experience of like, I did it. I'm at the top of that hill on that roller coaster, and boy, that was hard work getting up the hill. Hard work, but you made it. Okay? So I think you accomplished something really big recently. And now the rest of the ride is coming, and now I think things are going to they're picking up the pace. You get to the top of that hill, it feels like you're just kind of floating there. And then the ride really begins, and you're doing loop-the-loops and barrel rolls, and you're just all over the place, right? Gives me motion sickness just thinking about it. But that's now when things really start to speed up and things start to get pretty wild, right? Things need your focus and attention. See, this is a lot of active energy. This is now we're swooping down. We're just the momentum down that roller coaster, that first hill, picking up speed, getting ready for all these loops and tricks and stuff. This is very active energy. And I feel like this is you just being right in the middle of it, staying present, staying in the moment, and We're enjoying the roller coaster. We're enjoying the ride. We've got the wind in our face. We're holding on for dear life, but it's fun. You know what I mean? And that's us enjoying the success that we have, and the way everything now is kind of it's picking up the pace. Everything is building and growing and expanding. I'm expecting Jupiter energy. Wheel of Fortune is the mystery card. But what we also need is to remember the bigger picture. We don't want to just be so immersed in the moment that we lose sight of the larger, theme park or whatever, right? Life is not just this particular roller coaster ride. There's a lot of other rides and a lot of other things to do. And this is us getting that bird's eye view. We're rising above the very active, emotional aspect of it, right? Which is at the same time, intense and joyful, but also kind of scary, right? It's that adrenaline of the roller coaster, which we love it, but yet it's kind of frightening. And, this is us getting that calm perspective on things now. Because I feel like your life is really, a lot of things are happening, and things are happening quickly. Your personal life, your professional life, every aspect of your life is growing and expanding, and a lot of things are happening. Okay, we need to stay organized. We need to stay perceptive and discerning. We need to keep that bigger picture in mind. Now, below everything is the Nine of Wands. The Nine of Wands is your strength, your commitment, your resolve, your discipline, your ability to say something and follow through with it. Okay? Your ability to say something and follow through with it. So it's kind of like it extends over here to the 10 of Cups and Wands. We say we're going to do something, we commit to something, we take responsibility for this kind of new life that we're building and growing and we're enjoying, but then we realize that, okay, now the responsibility is on us, we've got to keep it going. Right? So it's kind of like you're on this roller coaster, but you're the power. You have to pedal to keep the thing going, right? Can you imagine a roller coaster where you've got to pedal to keep the ride going? That's kind of what we have here. So it's kind of like I put this in motion. It's on me to keep it going. All right? That's the Nine of Wands. It's a good problem to have, right? Because I think this is something that has these peak experiences, and it's every peak is a little bit higher, a little bit higher, a little bit higher. Right? But the higher we get, then the more is required of us. The more it's going to take from us energetically, spiritually, the higher we get. You think of climbing Everest. The higher you get, the more the joy, the more the bliss, the more the excitement, but also the more toll it takes on you physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Right? And that's kind of where we're at right now. Again, it's a good problem to have. It's the price we pay for the kind of joy and satisfaction that we want. Yeah. And Five of Pentacles in the future sort of position, or what is in front of you, a lot of changes. Right? A lot of changes are in front of you. The magician really has to adapt and learn to kind of acclimate to this new life as we go. It's not something we can totally plan for and have everything mapped out. We try a little bit with the air energy here. But it's kind of us having to adapt to the circumstances, right? Magician and earth energy. We have to adapt to the circumstances as we go. And that's what the magician can do. You can drop the magician in any situation, a random forest or a desert or underwater, doesn't matter, anywhere. And the magician will find a way to thrive. Okay? Because that's what the magician does. We use the elements that are around us. Wherever we may wake up and find ourselves in any given day, any given moment, those are the resources we're going to use to bring about the absolute best experience that we possibly can. Okay, it's like life is an episode of Chopped. You ever watch that show? And you just open up a basket. There's just some weird food ingredients in there. Maybe not even food, just weird stuff in this basket. And you've got to make a glorious dish to eat, right? All my metaphors end up going back to food. You ever notice that? Especially when we get the Art or Temperance card, because this is the flavor of life. This is how we season life, And your life it's got a lot of spice to it. It's got a lot of seasoning on it, right? Flavorful, it's rich. It's the Ten of Cups. It does something for you. You enjoy the flavor of it. It's not just one note, right? It's not just, oh, that's just sweetness. That's all I'm getting is sweetness all across the board. No, there's sweet, there's tart, there's some savory elements in there. There's some nice acid going on, right? There's some bitter notes. Maybe, you added some smoke or whatever to it. There's a lot of flavor in it, and that's what we like. Keeps us wanting to eat more, right? That's a good dish is a dish where it's just like you finish it, you lick the plate, and you're like, I want more of it. Even as full as I'm getting, well, I'm gonna loosen my pants and I'm gonna eat more. We stay hungry for it because of the flavor. And I think that you really are understanding that about your life, that you like to have a lot of different exciting things going on. You like a day that's kind of filled with a lot of different activities. You like your routine. You like to kind of know what things look like. You like that bird's eye view of things. But you like your life to be flavorful, right? And I think sometimes we run into Seven of Cups. Sometimes we run into things that we think maybe we're going to like. You ever think you're going to be adventurous eating at a new restaurant? And I'm going to pick like the weirdest thing on the menu, right? And then you get it and it's just absolutely terrible. You ever had that happen? That's the Seven of Cups. We think maybe we're going to like it. We try it. We don't like it. That's okay. Maybe you'll eat it. Maybe you'll share it with somebody else. Maybe you'll send it back. I don't know. But, we don't get angry about that because that's life. Not everything is going to taste good to us. And if we expect everything in our environment, because this card is in the position of your environment, if you expect everything in your environment to be appealing to your tastes, that's going to be a very isolated life, right? And so you're okay with that. You're trying to always seek out those peak experiences. Sometimes things don't taste right. You're always trying to cook up the best dish you've ever made. Sometimes you might overcook the Brussels sprouts or something, I don't know. Not everything is going to be a winner, and that's okay. That's part of the experience, right? And sometimes I'll do that. Sometimes I'll go to a restaurant and I'll order something that I know I'm probably not going to like. But it's interesting and kind of fun to do it anyway. To taste. That's why they make like these jelly beans that are all the gross flavors, right? Because it's sometimes, I know I'm not going to like it, but it's just kind of fun to do it sometimes, right? But I don't think we're going and seeking those kinds of experiences in life. Maybe we are a little bit, like with the jelly beans or something. But when they happen, we don't get angry at them, right? We don't fall into that pit and we don't get dragged down into the mud and feel just in this swamp. We just take it as it comes and say, that's just part of life. Sometimes you're going to overcook the Brussels sprouts. Sometimes you're going to get a vomit-flavored jelly bean, right? It happens. And, we don't get angry. I know people that you give them a vomit-flavored jelly bean and they would just get angry at you. They would just get mad, probably leave the Christmas, a family member I'm thinking of specifically. And it's just, I don't think that's your energy. I think you'd get that and you might spit it out and be like, that was disgusting, right? But you appreciate it on some level, okay? Though we don't go out and seek those things, we understand that it adds to the whole experimentation of life. And the difficult part of life is finding the exact perfect recipe for all of your meals, But if you already knew all the recipes, then life wouldn't be that fun. We'd have nothing to do, nothing to innovate, nothing to learn, no way to grow. It's like I've got a dozen recipes here in my recipe book, and that's what I'm going to eat every day. I know I like that stuff. And yes, maybe we do sometimes like a life like that. I do sometimes. I like to kind of know, okay, I'm gonna eat this certain thing for a while, for every day, have my meals sort of planned out. But I also like trying new things and, maybe having one day a week. We do Sunday dinners here at our house where on Sundays we'll take turns kind of cooking something new, a big meal, and it's not always a winner. I tried to cook for my wife. My wife does tea leaf readings over at Ula Tea Leaf Readings. You probably watch her already. I tried to make her one of these sour cream raisin pies for, I don't know what it was, for a birthday or it was some occasion last year. Because there's a little place that we go to here that just has these sour cream, I guess it's right, sour cream raisin pies. So delicious. The best pie I've ever had, right? And it sounds weird, but it's so good. I thought I would make one for her for this holiday or this occasion, I don't know if it was a birthday or what. It was the worst attempt at making anything that I've ever been a part of. It was watery and runny. It was sour and it would make your stomach turn, right? But it was fun. We tasted it. It was the worst, but we laughed about it. It was fun nevertheless, you know. But we have to do the experimentation. That's sometimes the hard part of life, is realizing this, you know. And that's why the art card is in the position of the difficulty, right? It's difficult not to just fall into a routine and get everything kind of functioning in this expected, comfortable, predictable way, right? The predictable way. There's a lot of unpredictability in some of these cards, yeah. The Ten of Wands, we talked about that. I think that really is the amount of effort is equal to the amount of enjoyment, right? However much effort you put into life, well, that's how much pleasure and satisfaction you're going to get. And these two cards, in a very, very real way, are saying that any accomplishment that comes without struggle doesn't have the same meaning. It doesn't feel the same. Right? When you have success after a struggle, something challenging, and you've done it, you've succeeded, you've accomplished something, it feels so satisfying. It's not so satisfying when things come easy, when everything is expected. Well, I knew I was going to win, so it doesn't really feel that great when I did. You know, it's different than having confidence. We can be confident that we're going to win, but it still must be something that we have to put effort into. If it's an effortless win, it's just, you know, why even bother? You know, let's do a Metatron Oracle card, and then we'll look at that mystery card. What do we have? Oh, the Tree of Life, travel on. And the Tree of Life is very cool because it is the exact configuration of the Ten of Cups, right? Which is a life that is fulfilling really in every area. Every cup, every sphere of the Tree of Life is full and active and satisfied, and everything is lit up, right? We're hitting every spot in our souls. Yeah, this is a complete life, a fulfilled life. Every aspect, from the divine point of consciousness all the way down to the tips of our toes. Everything is activated here. Okay, so it's not really a specific thing. This is a life, kind of a lifestyle, I guess. Yeah, I like this tree of life. Travel on too, because it says that there's no real limit. You know, we're exploring the universe here. We're exploring our own souls, our own infinite kind of imagination, and we have to keep progressing. And in order to do that, we have to get out of the comfort zone. We have to get out of the predictable and expected routine and experiment, get in the kitchen and see what we got. We've got to just open up the fridge and just start grabbing stuff and say, what can I make with this? You know, let's look at the mystery card. I don't know, what do we need here? We don't need much of anything. Maybe we'll see a little bit more earth energy, right? I wonder if we're going to get a 4 of something, right? Because we have 5, 6, 7. Maybe we need an 8, and then we have our 9 and our 10. So maybe an 8 of Wands or a 4 or an ace is what I'm predicting. If you have a prediction, put it in the comments. Here we go. Yeah, 8 of Wands. Perfect, right? Because now we have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. It's this perfect flow, right? The energy is not finding any kind of blockage anywhere. Even the 7, this would usually be a blockage to our joy, right? To our faith, a blockage of our pleasure and satisfaction. No, 7, we got 8, and we've got 9, and we've got 10. And so this is that energy that links everything together, right? And it's as diversified as our life is, right? There are 8 wands here, 8 javelins, 8 stabs, 8 arrows, whatever. It's diversified. There's a lot of different things that we're into. Huge diversity, right, of what we enjoy, what we like, of where we're trying to apply our energy. We're experimenting in different areas, a lot of irons in the fire, that sort of thing. But they're all going in the same general direction, right? There may be a lot of diversity, a lot of multiplicity in your life, but there's also a unification. There's also there's a path. And that's the path of the 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, right? We have that whole sequence. We have a straight here. We'd be winning if this was a poker game. I think, anyway. I don't know. I'm not a gambler. So I think this is good. I think this is showing that in the multiplicity there is unity. In all of this diversification and all of these different spheres of our energy, it's one soul, right? It's one energy. There's many different paths for these arrows, but really it's all one path, I think this is meaningful. Now we're going to do an extended reading as well. If you want to stick around, there's a link up top. There is one down below. New readings for Libra every Wednesday and Saturday, 6 a.m. Chicago time. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It is totally free. It doesn't cost anything. Leave a comment. Let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we're all in this together.